Greetings and salutations, my artsy friends. How is everyone today? Hey Sharon, how are you? I'm so glad to see you here. I am. Are you ready to get painty? Jamie, how are you today? We are cooling off. It is only supposed to get up to 71 here today, which I know according to the rest of the country seems crazy, but we're so excited. We're so excited for it to be nice and cool. Hey Aunt Mer, how are you? Aunt Mer, what's the temperature there today? Today it is supposed to get up to 71, only to 71 today. We're so excited. How is everyone getting? Hey Carmen, how are you? How is everyone getting ready for the Thanksgiving holiday? It's kind of a weird thing, isn't it? It's just it's just, it's a weird year. But the thing I was just talking to some girlfriends about is it's a weird year because we can't have big family celebrations, but it's a year where we are all painfully aware of what we're grateful for and what we're thankful for, right? Like we're so, there's so much to be happy and grateful for, and this will pass. It'll pass and we'll move on like we always do, right? But it's just a little bit different this year, Hi, Nancy. How are you today? Oh, so I wanted to talk to you about something crazy. 37? Yikes. And a little sleep. So, I have a friend so while we're waiting for everybody to get here and to get started painting, I want to tell you about my crazy fingernails. So, I'm really conscious about my hands because they're in front of you guys all the time. So sometimes I polish them, whatever. I haven't gone and got a manicure or anything because COVID. But my friend Brandy had this online party. Is it Jerry or is it Casey? Anyway, these are called, hey Lynn. They're called Color Street, and they're like stickers that you put on your fingers. Is this the craziest thing? And because the thrifty part in me. So here's her contact information. Her name is Amanda Egeman. Anyway, Brandy had an online party, and so I bought scads of them, but they last like 2 weeks. And they are so easy. Like I put them on last night when we were watching TV. Not like probably between 15 and 20 minutes. And they're not wet. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to be careful about not touching anything so anyway, just know that I'm going to have all different kinds of colors on in the next little while. I just feel like they're a nice alternative, Hey Keels. So anyway, they're called Color Street, and she is on Instagram, Amanda Egeman, Eggman, Egg-I-Man. That's how I remembered. You know what? We are having, it's just 4 of us. So, but we'll still be celebrating and being grateful and all of those things. So, I know it is kind of weird, isn't it? It is kind of weird to be such a different year, but like I said, easy peasy. In the big street. I'm telling you, Color Street, I was like, I just didn't know what to expect because I'd never tried anything like that. And because my nail beds are short, or small, and my nails are short, I could get 2 fingers out of 1 strip. So, you know, the thrifty girl in me was like, oh, I can absolutely make these last forever and a day. Because I wanted to try all the colors, you know. Anyway, little shout out for Amanda. So today is Art Printable Day. And I'm going to share my Aunt Arlene Art Printable. So here it is. It is Japanese lanterns. So what I want to tell you about Japanese. So when we were just back home, when Teresa and I made that trip back home, we saw Japanese. So there was a full fence line of Japanese lanterns, and my sister, oh my gosh, we both were like, oh. So we ran over and we were just checking them out, and I took a million pictures, and I just knew I wanted to draw them. Because I can just remember my mom always had a mason jar with some sprigs of them sticking out with some wheat, and you know, it was the 70s, girls. Anyway, I thought that I could, that this would be a good way to show what, that my art printable sheets, you can create 3 cards from 1 sheet, right? So there's slimline, A2, and then the independent piece of art. The cool thing about Japanese lanterns is that when, so they start off as like green ground cover, and then the husks turn this beautiful orange, just like the most brilliant, beautiful orange. And then somewhere along the line, some little insects get in there and they eat away most of the husk that's around all of the orange. And then it leaves this beautiful, like, almost like a skeleton, right? But inside is this beautiful piece of fruit. Do not eat it because it's poisonous, but it's just beautiful to look at. So, anyway, I just thought it was beautiful and autumnal, and so let's just paint. I hope everybody printed one off today. So this one I started with my Karen markers, but I was thinking it would be fun to show how you can do 3 totally different art techniques on 1 sheet, right? So I'm gonna take this orange, which is kind of a red orange, a little bit deeper. I really like it. So I thought I could come in with a nice watery wash of this color and do the little piece of fruit that's in the center. I don't know if you would call it a berry. I'm not exactly sure. And I was really thinking about, like, how would we convey the skeleton. So for this one, I kind of really didn't do anything, right? I just painted it because it's see-through, right? Because it's a skeleton. I took some of the green and I painted the leaf, right? But then do you see how I just kind of, if you look closely as you're painting, you'll see there's a slight line right there within all of this skeletal stippling. You'll see that the leaf shows through on the back side, right? Because it's folded and it's kind of behind there, right? So we can do that part first. All of the green. And while this is drying, we'll move on like to this one. But I was thinking it might be cool to go over the lines of this with something kind of goldish or something kind of, so you see I'm just mixing one green with the other and getting a deeper shade. And then just adding water so I get some nice watery wash. You know, like I always do, I like to just start out with a watery wash and then continue to build on there. And remember, the lighter the wash, the more you're going to be able to shade and build dimension with color. Hi Susan, how are you? So today we are painting my newest art printable, excuse me, Aunt Arlene. So you know that I always name my art printables after special people in my life. And there's no rhyme or reason to like the flower I pick or the subject matter usually. And I just do them as they kind of come to me. So I don't have a big plan. Maybe I should, I don't know. But I just like to draw. Okay, so for this one, I'm gonna, hey Grammy, how are you, Mrs. Charles? I'm going to just come in here and simulate the edge of the leaf, right? Because it's gonna kind of be peeking from behind. Okay, so we're gonna let that, well, we could do the branch part, right? So let's take some of this brown, but I don't want it to be like solid brown, so I'm thinking I'm gonna see this color that's, I don't know, kind of a mustardy. Let's mix that in there. And then let's water it out. So we just have a little bit of, we just want to start the, start building the dimension, right? So we're just going to start with a watery wash of color so that we have a jumping off point. Do you know what I mean? So I'm going to come down here with that sort of browny branchy color, but then I'm going to build some green on top of there too, because like as far as the leaves go, because you know that's going to be so let's do this. We just don't want to put wet on wet, right? So I'm trying to just be really careful about applying color. So we're going to want to do some color mixing on the paper for those, I guess you would call them stems. Right, so I switched to a number 1 round brush to just get a little bit of more precise lines as I paint. And I was thinking that, so we're going to be super careful up here because look, we have a big wet blob and we don't want to have one run into the next, you know. So I'm thinking like once I finish this, I'm going to move on to something else, let that dry completely. And then we're going to build our colors like always. But I'm also feeling like maybe it might be fun to come in with some colored pencils and enhance these lines of the skeletal remains of the Japanese lantern. Or maybe a gel pen. That might be fun. Like we could make it look almost a little bit metallic. I don't know. We'll just play with it as we go along. There. Okay. So now, so this one we did all in watercolor. This one I thought we could do in colored pencil. Because this one we did with the watercolor ink markers, the Corbiere markers. So this one I thought we could do in colored pencils. So I'm going to start with this Spanish orange, which is kind of a gold, like an orangey yellow. And remember, I have a nice rounded end on my pencil, so that's going to create a really nice blendable layer of color. So we're just going to lay down a little bit of color on each of these Japanese lanterns. Right, and then we can come, so now I have an orange where I could just start to build from the stippling shadows that I've drawn on there. And then remember, we just kind of want to elongate our color, but like barely, we're barely touching our paper. We're just letting the color just kind of glide off the end of our pencil. Like we're not putting any kind of pressure on there. Hi, Ann Maybe, how are you? I just saw your great big beautiful family on Instagram. Lovely. I feel like I've known them through the gram for years, you know? That's kind of crazy. Through Facebook and Instagram. Okay, so I'm just going to build, right? And then we're going to come back with that first color, remember? And we're going to just do the round circle, round circle, round circle blend, right? But again, I'm not putting any pressure on my paper. I am just letting my pencil glide over the top. So we're just going to blend out the regular orange into the Spanish orange by going over the regular orange with my Spanish orange pencil again, right? Just barely. Look, seriously, I'm not putting any pressure on there at all. Hey, Doreen. And now I'm going to come in with a little bit deeper orange. What's that? So this is called pale vermilion. Let's try a little bit of that. Just like barely at the tippity-toppity. right? And at the bottom. And another thing we can do is we can just follow that line, right? But remember, we're not putting any kind of pressure on our pencil, or with our pencil onto our paper. We're just going back, forth, but like I said, we're just letting that, just a slow build of color. Like there's no, I'm not pushing down at all with my pencil. Just building that dimension really quite organically. Down the like the little piece that separates each little piece of the husk. So we're just building, building, building. Okay, and now I have poppy red, which is really, look at this color. It's so pretty. But watch, we can just, little by little, like I said, like, do you see, like I am barely putting any color. And by doing this, that's how we're gonna just really slowly build the shape of the Japanese lanterns, right? So just little by little. And I'm just doing that kind of a circular blend out. But again, I'm just letting my pencil just glide across the surface of the paper. This is Northwood's watercolor paper, as you might have already guessed. All right, and now I'm going to come back from the beginning, that Spanish orange, and I'm just going to blend that out again with just that little circular motion. Blend it out. And you just get a nice gradation from one color to the next. And then we can do our leaves and the basic stem of the plant. So while I was drawing this, I felt like, so I'm just putting lime peel, my favorite color. I'm just kind of putting down a little light layer of that color, just like I did with the Spanish orange on the actual Japanese lanterns. So we just want to start out with that nice base of color, and then, so speaking of the 70s, you guys, I just watched the Helen Reddy story on Netflix. Oh my gosh, was it good. And because I knew all those songs, you know, and I just remember, like, I really remember that time in our country's history. And I remember, like, her show must have been on during the summertime, because we would come home from baseball. We played baseball or softball in the summertime, and it would be on in the evening. Oh my gosh, it was so good. Okay, now I'm going to come in with artichoke, and I'm going to do the same thing where I'm just going to go over the places that have some stippling already. And again, I'm just letting my pencil just glide over the edge of my, or glide over the surface of the paper, right? just where the stippling is. So we're just it's just starting to take shape, right? And we could do where the lines are, right? But again, do you see this is a rounded end of our pencil, because a rounded end of a colored pencil is blending bliss, right? It's going to, you're going to be able to blend so much easier. If it's pointy, you're going to get a severe line. We don't want a severe line. We want a little, we just want it to just kind of start to slowly build that color. So this one, we're just doing that round, 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 round. Again, here. So anyway, oh my gosh, you guys, that movie was so good. And there's so much that we just didn't know. And that she just passed. Like, during the COVID. It was just tragic. But it was, oh my gosh. Just to hear all those songs again. And, you know, it's always fascinating, isn't it? To hear, okay, I'm going back over with my line peel. Right? We're going to just blend that out by doing that round circle, circle, circle blend the light color over the little bit of the deeper shade. And you can do this many times with just these two colors if you want. You can just keep deepening it and growing the dimension, right? So has anybody else seen that movie? I just kind of happened upon it, and oh my golly, it was so good. Okay, now I'm going to come back with that artichoke just a little bit more. And just deepen that just a little bit. And I'm kind of just flicking. I know that's a Copic rule, but I'm just kind of, like for this, the center vein of each leaf, I'm just going over it. Right as close to going over that line as possible. And then for these little stippled areas, I'm just doing that circle, circle, circle. And then here, I'm just going to do that flick down here, because, you know, this is meeting this, so it's nice and dark down there. So we can flick. Right, and then here, we're going to do that same thing, back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. But do you see how, like, again, my pencil is, like, just going over the surface of the paper. And what that does is then that's kind of forces you to slow down your blend. Do you know what I mean? Don't, you won't feel so compelled to apply a bunch of color. You just want to slowly build it. Right, so then let's do here. So, I just want to remind everyone that we will not be having class on Thanksgiving, but we will be having a special something on Black Friday. And I do have a little something in my noggin for Cyber Monday and possibly Small Business Saturday. So stay tuned. You'll see it on my social media, and if you are on my email distribution list, I will put the information in there for sure. So if you are not on my email distribution list, be sure to follow follow and like me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Anne Corbiere-Scott Designs. And then after you do that, ask to join our private Facebook group, Let's Get Artsy with Anne Corbiere-Scott. Let's stick with the same time, if that works for everybody. We could do 2 o'clock on Friday. And then Saturday's class will be the same as always. It'll be, so on Saturday, we, if you are new here, on Saturdays we do an art journaling class where we, hey Kipling, we explore and are inspired by a master artist, and then so I teach about that person, I share about that person, and then we take that inspiration and we create in our art journals with that, either maybe that person's style or that person's medium of choice. It depends on the person, I guess, on the artist. But this week, oh, we're gonna have fun. So if you are, and I usually, like I send out an email every Friday, and that is like the kind of the update of what's happening in the artsy world of Corbiere-Scott design. So if you kind of want to know what's new and coming down the pike for the next week, be sure to get on my email distribution list. And to do that, you need to join my Let's Get Artsy with Corbiere-Scott on the private Facebook group, because one of the questions is asks for your email address. So you want to join the group, but you also want to get on my email distribution list and stay in the know. Okay, I'm back to coloring. Okay, so now I'm just going to, like I said, I'm back with my lime peel. And I'm just going to do that circle blend. Right? Blend out from that deepest shade, the deeper shade, I should say. Because I'm feeling like I might want to come in with like a third green. What is this? Green ochre. Let's try that. Yep, nice and deep. So let's do this. Do you see how that is already creating more dimension? So we're just going to go over this line with this green ochre. So how is everyone else doing? Does 2 o'clock work for everybody on Friday? So just like our Thursday class, only because of the holiday, we're going to do it on Friday. Just deepening this up a little bit. And again, I am not pushing down on my pencil at all. I am just letting it glide. I do, Nancy, and it's Christmassy. I will put it out Friday morning or maybe Thursday evening. Thanks, Keels. So that you can be all set to join in on Friday. And then, you know what? I was just thinking, okay, so I'm digging that, but I feel like I know I love Christmas too, Nance. I did a blue background here because I thought that it played really well with the orange, right? So I'm feeling like I might want to do that again. With a colored pencil. But let's start, okay, Caribbean Sea, how's that? Yep. So this, I'm just coming in and I'm just doing the circle blend all the way around. Like I'm coloring the whole thing with the circle blend of this blue. And I like it because it's on watercolor paper we already have a nice texture there, so it kind of already has a little bit of a pattern, you know what I mean? And I think that's really nice. And then we can deepen that. Remember, just like everything else that we've done with colored pencils, we can just continue to grow the dimension with the colored pencils with deeper shades, like I said. So Friday, Black Friday is the new art printable. I can hardly wait to share it with you. And it's something super fun. I didn't want to do anything too serious. Because, you know, I just feel like I read this thing on somebody else's Instagram. And it was talked about, especially when you work really hard, you should rest and recover just as hard. You know what I mean? So, you know, this COVID business has been hard on everyone. And so shouldn't we be looking for ways to rejuvenate and for me, it's to reconnect with all of you, you know? I really look forward every couple of days to have my girlfriend time. Like I said, if boys want to join, they're certainly welcome. But I just, you know, connect with people who, you know, we've gotten to know each other over the months, and I just feel like it's good for the soul, you know? I mean, we're coloring and making cards to send, so that's a way of spreading joy, right? We're spreading joy because we're creating together, but we're also spreading joy because we're creating something that will send through the U.S. Postal Service, and that will bring joy to others. And that's a good thing, right? So as I'm coloring this, I'm really noticing that this is very, like, there's not a lot of contrast between this and this. And so I'm going to really have to work on building up some contrast with some other colors. Does everybody see that same thing? That it's sometimes, like, once it's down, you can see the potential challenge. But remember, like with color, we can fix almost anything. I mean, unless we painted it solid black, you can't see. Oh, Keels, I love that. I love that. Yeah, I have a big stack to go in the mail today. And isn't that the greatest feeling, you know, to just let people know that we're thinking about them, and even though this year is different, we're still grateful, right? We're still thankful for them in our lives. They're still on our mind. Okay, so I feel like because this feels very all the same tone, I need to build that color a little bit more. So, like, I really like to play with color on this, like, look at my different colors on the side. So I am coming in, and you know, underneath is going to be darker, right? So this is muted turquoise, which you wouldn't normally think of as the next layer of color, but it's working well. So back here, it's going to be dark. Under here, it's going to be dark, right? All the spots where, so say our light, well, no matter where our light source is, we're going to have, remember, because it's a plant, you're going to have multiple light sources because light's going to bounce off different areas, right? So in there is going to be a little bit darker. Down here maybe. Underneath. Just be kind of aware that like some places are going to be light, some places will be dark. So down here, I feel like, hi Jean, how are you? Down here is going to be a little bit dark. So Jean, we are working with my brand new art printable called Aunt Arlene, and it is Japanese lanterns. Hey Deb, are you in the waiting room? Oh no, your appointment isn't until later. Anyway, it's my new art printable called Aunt Arlene, and the thing that makes my art a little bit different for card makers is that when I designed it, I had card makers in mind. Not that other people don't, but this is why. I wanted something that was easy for people to use and that they could create many things on one sheet. So I'll show you. So this artwork is artwork for a slimline, right? This artwork is artwork for an A2. And this artwork is an independent piece of art that you could do, like a belly band, or you could do, I saw this coolest piece the other day that I totally want to be inspired by and create something like, so it was a card that was like a long piece of cardstock and then just the folds, and then this was cut out and it like lapped over one of the folds. Oh my gosh, it was so cool. Anyway, so that's what my art is all about. So if you would, Jean, I know you're new here, if you would follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Corbiere-Scott Designs, I would greatly appreciate it. Follow and like me. And then my art printables are all available at Corbiere-ScottDesigns.com. And once you follow me, be sure to ask to join our private Facebook group, Let's Get Artsy with Anne Corbiere-Scott. One of the questions on there is I ask for your phone number, not your phone number, your email address, so that you can be on my email distribution list. So then you kind of know what's happening, and so you can play along with us. So you can create with us. I did not, but shut up. Crackling Campfire would totally work on that, wouldn't it? No, I used the Corrine markers. It's so pretty, isn't it? I'm just in love with it. So just like before when we, let's see. We can come in with just a little bit of this deeper blue. See, this feels like under here needs to be a little deeper. So I'm going to do that same thing where I'm just doing that roundy blend. And then I could come back with the first color that we used, Caribbean Sea, and we're going to blend that out with just that circular blend, right? And remember that this, I am not putting any pressure on my pencil. I'm just letting the pencil glide over and leave its trail of color. So we're just going to, little by little, so you're going to put that first color back on top of that second color, and you're going to get a nice blend, right? And just blend it, like just kind of let it feather itself out. And you want to make sure that your pencil is nice and rounded on the end, because that will create this beautiful blendy application of color, right? And then, like I said, I'm going to come in with this ultramarine, but look at, I'm just going to like barely add some of that blue, the ultramarine at the deepest part of the shadow. And that is going to, like, the dimension is just going to pop. And here I'm just doing that back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. I'm just going to slowly build more dimension just with color. Right? Back, forth, here. Back, forth, right? And we can, right here. All the places that are, you know, if one thing is on top of another, you know that the underneath thing is going to be deeper. It's going to be darker. So, just going to keep building this. I hope that's making sense to everybody. Oh, my doggies. Okay, now we're going to come back with that first color, that Caribbean Sea, and I'm just going to, again, just do that circular blend. Blend it out. You just need a little patience when it comes to this one, but your hard work will pay off. You'll get this beautiful almost a seamless blend, but because we're doing it on watercolor paper, it's quite forgiving because there's already this texture, right, in the paper. Okay, so I'm feeling like I really am liking that so much more. But now I'm feeling like I really want to do something with the edge. How am I doing on time, Keels? It always goes so fast. Okay, so I'm going to take that muted turquoise, which was the second color that I used, and I'm going to just go over the edge a little bit. Right up to that line. Do you see what I'm saying? Because I want this to kind of look almost dome-like, I think. Right? So I'm just slowly building the edge. Oh, I'm already liking that. I think that's really going to work well. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to come back in with our Caribbean Sea. We're just going to do that circle, circle, circle blend out. Right? And then just have it kind of trail off into the center. Trail off into the lighter blue. But again, remember, no pressure on that pencil. Just let that pencil, just the fact that it's touching the paper, just let that much color go down on your paper. And I'm telling you, the more you do that, you'll be so much happier with your blend. Now I'm going to come in with that deepest blue, that ultramarine, and I'm just going to do that same thing where I just barely put some of that deepest blue down on the very edge. So I'm telling you what pencils I'm using, but remember, you can use whatever pencils you have. You can use whatever tools you have. Everybody should just be able to create art, no matter what they have at their house. Remember, you can make all of those supplies work for you, you know, no matter what it is. Okay. Oh, I need to do a little bit more up here. Dee, dee, dee. And now I'm going to come back with the Caribbean Sea and just do that blend one more time. Don't you find yourself like you go, you know, when you're searching social media, I find myself, like, I don't ever feel like I want to copy a card exactly, because I don't want anybody doing that to me, because I've had people do that and then claim it for their own, and that just hurts a heart, right? But I might see a technique that was really cool. Like, I'm telling you, that folded card was so cool. And that you can take that technique and make it your own. And isn't that what we should be doing, right? Making things our own. Okay, how are we doing? Kind of digging that. But I feel like this needs some brightening now, you know? The, are these the same? Yes. This, these leaves need to be brightened up a little bit, so I'm going to put a little bit of chartreuse in here, because I feel like they are just kind of dull. But remember, whatever colored pencils you have, find something light that can brighten that up. And remember, if you're feeling brave, you can always pull out your color wheel and go opposite, right? So opposite of blue on the color wheel is orange, right? So we could take some of this blue, so let's take the middle, the muted turquoise, and we could add a little bit of that to our orange. Not much, just enough to create a little bit more dimension. Again, I'm not putting any pressure. I'm just letting the pencil glide over the surface. Okay, and then we could do the same thing with orange. So we can come in with our just regular orange, and we could do that edge. Do you see how just that little bit is already creating? I'm doing it on the inside of the sketchy, wreathy edge, and I'm just going back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, and then softening it with that blend. And that is going to create even more roundness. Back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, and blend it out. But we just want to really make sure that we blend it out so that there's not like a clear demarcation of one color to the next. We just really want it to be like you want it to be so that you don't see where one color starts and the other ends. You just all of a sudden think, hey, there's some orange right there. That's kind of cool. Oh, it is so easy, Aunt Mer. It is, it is. You just have to take your time. Alright. I might go over that with some more blue. With the lightest blue, the Caribbean Sea, the one we used originally. Just so it's not as... a line of orange. Do you know what I mean? I would just want those three colors to just really blend nice. I want them to play nice together. See, like over here, I feel like I got a little heavy-handed with the orange, so I'm going to have to do a little corrective surgery. I'm just going to come in and like really blend out with that lightest blue. I told you, nothing is ever lost. You can always do a little repair. But I also feel like these need some, I need some white on there. I need something like maybe some gel pen work, something like that. But I'm loving everything. I'm loving that I did 3 different techniques all on one sheet, right? So Karen markers here, watercolors here, and then colored pencils here. I don't know that I have time to continue. Remember I said I really wanted to, so I have a silver, I'll just do it really quick. I know I have like 1 minute. I really wanted to do something that just really kind of highlighted the skeletal beauty of the Japanese lantern after the buggies got at it. So if I just go over it with my silver, I go over the black lines with a silver colored pencil, that's already kind of adding a little dimension. You know what I mean? So be sure to check out my Instagram and my Facebook, because we have been creating with these. I'm telling you, the girls that create for me are just so talented, and so there'll be so much inspiration out there. And remember to watch for me on Friday. I will be sure to send out notices about that on social media. That's the day that the new art printable comes out. So, and it's Christmassy. So I would love it if you would print it off before you meet me on Friday, because then we can. Oh my gosh, there's so many, like the possibilities are endless with it. I can hardly wait. I can hardly wait. All right. I know I need to step away. I know. I'm so happy that you are all with me and take the time to just hang out every Tuesday and Thursday and every Saturday. Please join us on Saturday. We have ourselves a time. But before that, join us on Friday and paint something Christmassy with us. It will be available, like I said, probably on Thanksgiving night. And then be sure to print it off and join me on Friday at 2 o'clock right back here, and we will paint. I adore you all. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for hanging out, and I will see you Friday. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.